Well, you heard the vice president talk exactly about things like this on Tuesday night in her closing argument. Donald Trump is so all consumed by his grievances. The people who he disagrees with and who he sees as opposing him politically, he treats as enemies. He spent the last month talking about the enemy from within the United States. And now he's going after Liz Cheney with this dangerous, violent rhetoric. I mean, think about the contrast between these two candidates. You have Donald Trump, who's talking about sending a prominent Republican to the firing squad, and you have Vice President Harris talking about sending one to her cabinet. This is the difference in this race. You have one candidate who's extending an arm and saying, we may not agree on everything. That's okay. I may make mistakes. You may not like me on every issue. That's okay. But we have to turn the page on this division and this anger and, frankly, the instability that we see from Donald Trump. If we ever want to move forward as a country, if we ever want to get anything done that actually matters for your life, he's going to sit in the Oval Office stewing over his enemies list of people who he perceives as his political opponents, as his enemies. And she's going to sit in the Oval Office and actually focus on a to-do list of priorities for the American people, lowering costs, protecting reproductive freedom. These are the things that she's talking about over and over again in her campaign. We have new polls out overnight from Marist, for example, in the battleground states, showing Donald Trump's lead on the economy has been erased. It's because people are hearing from her about her actual plans to bring down costs, while all Donald Trump does is attack his enemies, attack his opponents, talk about his own problems. And we think that that's actually resonating with voters. We think that that's contributing to the fact that undecided swing voters at the end of this race are breaking her way. They are seeing, regardless of the misinformation and the disinformation being churned out on the right, undecided voters, independent voters, even some Republican voters who aren't very comfortable with Donald Trump, they are seeing this rhetoric. They are seeing what happened at Madison Square Garden, and it is turning them off. And